What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, the Trials update is in full swing, and I am just getting asked tons and tons and tons of questions. So over the next several weeks, I'm going to do a little video series regarding the Trials update, and it's going to just be called the Top 3 Frequently Asked Questions. And this is the Top 3 FAQ number 1. Now, if you have a question you'd like to have answered, let me know in the comments below, and those questions that are the most common or get voted up the most, I will include in one of the future videos. So let's get started. First off, let's take a look at our inventory. Now, everybody watched the dev stream, or lots of people watched the dev streams, and they saw how quickly they were able to look through the inventory and find particular items. Now, I am going to do a more detailed inventory management video in the future, but for right now we're looking mainly just for the search functions. And how you're going to do this is all the way over to the right. So the tab, of course you can tab through each of your bags, and if you go all the way to the right, that's going to bring up the filters. Natively, it's going to come filter by all. Let's say we just want to look for a specific weapon. If I go ahead and click weapon, it's going to list all the weapons I have in my inventory. Now, let's go back to all here and say I'm looking for a specific pet. I'm going to go ahead and filter by pets. It's going to show all my pets. Now, currently, it's this button over here where it says power level has the pets listed by their level. Now, say you wanted to switch that to affection level. Say I just equipped Betsy by accident. Or no, that's Auto Meow. Say you wanted to sort them by, or just look at the eggs you have. Say you want to look at your pet items that you have. Whatever the case is. Now, let's take a look at, say, relics. Now, you're looking for that relic. You can't find the totem you need, the medallion you need, the mark you need, whatever it is. You can't seem to find it. So, if you go over and say you're looking for just strictly marks, I'll select mark, and that's all the marks that I have in my inventory. Now, of course, it's not going to show you any items that are equipped. It's only showing you what is in the inventory. Now, before I forget and join a match, let me get my trusty Dragolich back in play here. And that is how you use the inventory filter system. And once again, it's just that tab all the way over to the right. Now for question number 2. Question number 2 involves the inventory as well, but it involves the bag space. And I get a lot of questions about how did I get 10 bags. As you see, I've got 10 separate bags, and this is how it worked. It did not matter how many bags you had pre-update for what you have now. The only thing that mattered is the number of bag slots. Now, this also included your pet bags, and your pet bags could go up to a maximum of 80 slots. So if you fully upgraded your pet bag and you had the large bag in every position, just the large bags alone, you could have had 16 32 slot bags, which of course is 512. Now, if you add those 80 pet slots on top of that, that's 592. Now, all of our bags now hold 64. So if we take the total amount of slots we did have, divide that by 64, and then round up to the nearest number, that is how many bags you should have. So in my case here, I had 592 total slots for the 16 32 slot bags, plus the 80 slot pet bag for 592. We divide that by 64, it comes to 9.25. Now we're going to round up to the next nearest number, and that gives us a total of 10 bags. Trendy made very, they stressed the urgency of no one was going to lose any actual bag space. Now, a lot of people are confused about the number of bags they had and so on, but this was calculated off of the total space you had allowed. including the pet inventory bag. And I think that may be what's confusing a lot of people, as the pet inventory space was also part of your total inventory. That's how I got 10 bags, and a lot of people that had, they had bought the inventory pack, they had all the bags, they had the 16 32 slot bags, but they didn't upgrade their pet bag fully. Now, I'm a bit of a pet hoarder, of course, so my pet bag has been upgraded all the way for quite some time, but a lot of people didn't have the need for that many pets, or just didn't save that many pets. That is how I ended up with 10 total bags. Now, the third question for this week is actually a question that I had myself, and people kept asking me, and I could not come up with an answer. I asked on the forums, I asked in Discord, I asked just tons and tons and tons of times, and no one had an answer for me. And that is, what is the maximum defense crit? So if we take a look at my Dryad here, of course I've been using quite a bit of the Angry Nimbuses. If you look on your character sheet here for the Angry Nimbus, this number is your base number, 3%. It does not show any improvements that you have. This is just your base. So that is not obviously your accurate defense crit chance. Now, on my Dryad, I have 20 points in the defense crit from Ascension. So that takes me up to 23%. Plus, on the Nimbus itself, and of course, I go and unequip. So smooth, let me tell you. So smooth. No, that's not the Nimbus anyway. Alright, on the Nimbus itself, I'm using a mark. Yeah, I know, it's a crappy mark. I really didn't want the defense health on there, but whatever, I'll take it. Now, I've got the defensive crit damage, the defensive critical strike, and the destruction shards. Now, of course, the defensive critical strike shard increases my defense crit chance by 15%. So if we go ahead and lay down one of these Nimbuses, and we look on the tooltip, it says I've got a 38% chance to crit right there. Now, we all know pre-trials, the maximum crit chance that a defense could have was 30% in most cases. The question, of course, since there, has been a lot of issues with tooltips, really for quite some time, not just in the new update, but in the old way as well. And a lot of people are wondering, is it possible to go above the 30% crit? Like I said, I couldn't get the answer for it, so I figured I would go ahead and test it myself. I did a little test on my Squire here, and I set up a cannonball. I put a defense speed relic in place just to get some more shots off, and I let this run for 10 minutes and calculated how many times it crit. Now, I got it up to the 38% crit, just like my Angry Nimbus is here. And I know that this isn't 100% foolproof, because that's just not how probability works. However, over the 10-minute period, the cannon fired 328 times. Out of those 328, it crit 124 times. Strangely enough, that's 37.8%. Now, like I said, that is not 100% foolproof. That's definitely the case, but that is good enough for me to think that you can get your defenses up to 38% chance to crit now, instead of what was the cap at 30% in the past. So I hope this helps answer everyone's questions. Like I said, if you have a question, leave it in the comments below. I will scour through them, check the quantity and the votes on all the questions, and I'll put it in a future FAQ video. But that is going to do it for now, so thank you for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the trials as much as I am, because it has just been a ton of fun. Thanks again. We'll see ya.